Today, I want to talk to you about a really important thing in sales that a lot of sales professionals just don't understand, and that is that emotion comes before logic in sales. Emotion comes before logic in sales. Now, I think I can break this down for you pretty simply so you can understand it. When you are talking to a salesperson, it goes without saying that this salesperson is going to present you with a value proposition that they believe in, right? So, how many times have you been talking to a salesperson who gets paid commission and they've told you, you know what, I really don't have the right solution for you. You should go to one of my competitors. Has that ever happened? No, never. Okay? That just doesn't happen. Why? Because salespeople usually have something logical that they can present. They've developed some kind of a script or pitch that has a logical value proposition to it, right? So when you go to a prospect, they know that you believe you have something logical to present them with. So presenting them with something logical doesn't do anything to change their mind or convince them to buy from you. So what you have to understand is that when you walk up to a prospect, there's two things that are happening. Number one, they always start off with no, right? You've never walked up to a prospect before and said, I've never gone up to a prospect and say, hi, my name is James Shepard. I have a local business in the area doing credit card processing. And they're like, let me stop you right there. I would like to buy what you're selling. Sounds great. Let's do it, right? No one does that, okay? So understand, number one, when you start talking to a prospect, every conversation is starting with no, right? Like every conversation is starting with you selling somebody. That's why it's called sales. If they're calling you, that's called gravy. That's what we used to call it, right? That's gravy. That's leads. That's not a sale. That's an order. So you have order takers and you have salespeople, okay? An order taker is somebody that can take somebody from yes to yes. Not very difficult, all right? A salesperson is somebody that can take someone from no to yes. So every conversation really starts with no, okay? So you got to understand that. Secondly, understand that they're ready to say no even though they believe that you have a logical offer. So you walk into a business, you walk up to the business owner has two things in his or her mind. Number one, I am planning to say no to this person no matter what they're selling. And number two, I think they're going to make me an offer that sounds logical. So understand that. You then make them a logical offer. What do they say? Surprise! They say no. Why? Because they were planning to say no when you walked in, and they were planning on you giving them a logical offer. So you're doing exactly what they anticipated, and they're doing exactly what they planned, okay? So understand that emotions come before logic in sales. Your logical value proposition isn't worth anything until you first overcome the emotional obstacles and get them to trust you and like you. Because if you don't get them to trust you and like you, it doesn't matter how logical your offer is. They don't trust you. They don't like you. They're not going to buy from you. There's no way to change that equation. Somebody who doesn't trust you and doesn't like you does not buy from you. If you present them and say, I'm going to save you $1 million a year, it doesn't matter. If they don't trust you and they don't like you, they're not going to buy from you because what you say has no value to them. Okay? So, in sales, how do we get the emotions, going in the right direction? All right. This is where you've got to understand trust building initially. And this is why in your opening pitch, you have to say things and present them with things that are going to get them to trust you. In a video I did yesterday, I was talking about the terminal and handing them the terminal. We put out a video yesterday about this, and I just recorded it about 2 minutes ago. Have them hold the terminal in their hand. Now, why does that work? You say, what is logical about having, somebody hold a terminal in their hand? How does that make my offer any better? It doesn't. It's not logical. It's emotional. They're holding the terminal and they're like, wow, this person must really be a credit card processing professional because they actually have a credit card processing machine in their hand. And I've never seen one that had one. Like that builds emotional trust. That's why when I'm out in the field selling, guess what I bring with me? I bring letters of recommendation from other clients. When I was starting out, I had letters of recommendation from my pastor. I had letters of recommendation from friends, other people who knew me, and they were general letters of recommendation. James is an honest guy, blah, 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 right? Now you say, what's so logical about that? Nothing. It's emotional. I hand them that letter of recommendation. They look at it and they're like, oh, okay, great. This person is legit. And here's somebody I can call to verify that. Here's a terminal I can hold in my hand, that adds to that equation. You look at the Instant Quote Tool, okay? We have instantquotetool.com. You go there and get a free 30-day trial. And you say, well, what's the big deal? I go through the Instant Quote Tool. I can send the statement to statement analysis. Why should I pay money for a technology solution that does exactly the same thing that statement analysis would do? Well, I can give you the logical reasons, well, it doesn't take a week. It takes like 1 minute standing in front of the client. You don't have to ask for the statement in order to use the tool. I can give you all the logical reasons, but actually the truth is what matters most is the emotional reason. And the emotional reason is when you pull up a quote on your phone in front of the client and a tool that actually works right in front of them. And then at the end of that process, you have a beautiful PDF proposal that has your name and contact information on it, which you email to them instantly while you're standing in front of them. That is a powerful emotion, and it makes them feel like, wow, this person is the real deal. Look at this great technology that they have, that's their tool. That kind of stuff matters. It makes them feel like this isn't just some independent ragtag person that, is just walking into my store. This is a committed professional that has a bigger support system behind him or her with technology solutions and with terminals and, with all these things, that stuff really, really, really matters. We're coming out this year, probably in 2 or 3 months, we're going to have the mirrored website for the Instant Quote Tool. And I'm doing that for emotional reasons. I want you to have a website where you can take your clients to your own website, then walk them through the tool from there so that they see your face and, your profile, beautiful mobile ready website. Why? Because that is emotion. So emotion comes before logic. So understand that. And if you're thinking about your sales right now and saying, I'm not getting as many sales as I want. Many times what I hear salespeople do is they start making logical excuses. It's my area. It's, my pitch. I need to work on my pitch. Whatever. My company, the pricing isn't good enough, or this terminal or whatever, right? All these logical things in their mind where they're like, I'm just not able to make a good value proposition to the merchant. You know what? Maybe there's some truth to some of that, and you definitely need to make sure you believe in it because that's emotional. Like, you have to believe in what you're selling. If you don't believe in what you're selling, that's a problem. But honestly, most of that stuff, while it may matter and it may be important, it's probably not the reason that you're not making sales. You're probably not making sales because you're not a very good salesperson. Sorry, but let me say that one more time just to make sure it sinks into your head. You're probably not making sales because you're not a very good salesperson. So you might want to learn how to sell, and then you would make sales. And real salespeople, what they do is they go after the emotions. They get people to trust them and like them. They get people to, they think through all that. How is my prospect feeling at this point in the pitch? That's what real salespeople. I was just in Little Rock, Arkansas doing a consulting gig, 4 or 5 days ago, and had like 40 people out there, and I'm doing this big, and I was talking to the CEO of the company, who's a really good friend of mine. He actually started out as a sales rep for me, and he's one of the best salespeople I've ever met. And guess what he and I were talking about with his pitch? Is we were right away talking about, that's an interesting line, because he put his pitch up on he was showing his employees his pitch that he used. And I was like, that's an interesting pitch. I said, but how does the prospect feel at that point? And I said, what's the emotional state of the sales rep when he gives that line or when she gives that line? And we started talking about emotions right away. Why? Because both of us understand sales, and we know that sales is about emotion before logic. So the next time you're struggling in sales, yes, you need to think about your pitch and your value proposition and all that, but understand that until you get your prospect to like you and trust you, they're not going to buy anything from you. So keep that in mind and work on your pitch, and go to instantquotetool.com, get your free 30-day trial, go through my training, and maybe you could learn some tips and tricks that would give you that information that you need to build more trust and to get people to like you better. My name is James Shepard. Hope you have an awesome day.